And welcome back to my Let's Play of Pokemon Scarlet. Level 6 of classes begin, and I believe this is the last tier before the tests. So hopefully we will be done soon. It's kind of like when I was playing Amiibo Festival, but on a much more smaller scale. That was just, let me get to the end, please. Oh, that game was so bad. Hello, hello. I hope everyone's ready to learn some new things today. Next time we meet, we will have our final exam. That means today is our last actual class. And the topic for this class will be Pokemon forms. You can think of forms as the shapes or appearances that Pokemon have. There's also a phenomenon called a form change, when a Pokemon's appearance changes under certain conditions. Cyclizar, for example, which we regularly ride on as transportation here in Paldea, has 3 forms. First, its basic form, where it walks on its 4 legs. Second is its battle form, where it stands on its hind legs to engage in battle. Finally, there's its ride form, where it inflates its throat sac and its tail so we can ride on its back. Though we can use something you're all carrying with you now as an even better example. Yep, I'm talking about your phone. Some smartphones are inhabited by a certain Pokemon. Does anyone know the Pokemon I'm referring to? Heracross! Yeah, that's totally it. You are a regular expert on your Pokemon and technology, aren't you, Luca? The Pokemon inside your smartphone is Rotom, and it does all sorts of things to help you out. A Rotom inside a Rotom phone is special, so it doesn't try to enter other electronics. An ordinary Rotom, however, can change forms by entering washing machines, microwave ovens, and other electronic appliances. Rotom is a bit of an exception, though many Pokemon that change form do so simply by holding an item or by having one of them used on them. Oricorio, for example, has 4 different forms it can change between when given certain nectars. Pokemon may even change type or learn different moves when they change form. Form changes are different from evolution in that the Pokemon can return to its original form. And unlike shiny Pokemon, which can't change their special coloration, the same individual Pokemon can go back and forth between its forms. There's a lot to dig into with this form change phenomenon, you see. We can all learn something from Pokemon here, don't you think? I'd be happy to see you all enjoy your time at the Academy to the fullest and change form into a new version of yourselves. Or something like that anyway. Oh, I almost forgot. Regional forms, which vary based on what region a Pokemon came from, don't change like other forms. They're innate. Whoops, there's the bell. I guess I was scatterbrained, Mr. Jacques, right into the very end, huh? I had a good time teaching all of you. I hope you all do your best on the final exam. 6 more classes to go until the finals. Hey, we're getting there. We're getting there. It feels long. Yep. You'd like math through this time? Yep. I want to just start rolling through these, and we're almost there, man. We were halfway through the midterms, so I've done so much schooling today, like 6 videos worth. Hello everyone, I hope we can have fun once again today for our last class together. Last time we learned about probability using move accuracy as an example. Probability is quite an interesting subject. Did you know that in a class with 40 students, there's a 90% chance that 2 of them will have the same birthday? This is true despite the fact that there are over 300 days each year. Isn't that remarkable? But let's move on to today's topic before we get swept up along with probability again. I've been teaching y'all how to calculate damage in this class using examples like type matchups, critical hits, stat boosts, and the like. All these variables are multiplied together to calculate damage dealt to an opponent. However, did you know that there is an even simpler way to increase the damage of your Pokemon's moves? All you have to do is have your Pokemon use a move it shares its type with. If a Rock-type Pokemon uses a Rock-type move, Stone Edge, that move's base power of 100 is multiplied by 1.5 to become 150. Granted, Rock Pokemon may seem like similar types, but if a Ground-type Pokemon uses Stone Edge, the move's power will remain 100. Super effective moves and critical hits also add multipliers onto this little numerical increase, so it most certainly must not be taken lightly. Let me ask you a question to see if you understand what I'm talking about. Say you have a move with the power of 100. If a Pokemon shares a move type with this move, uses it, and hits an opponent that is weak to that type, what happens to the move's power? Well, let's see. If it becomes 150 with a stab bonus, but then doubles off of a weakness, it becomes 300. You did that calculation all in your head? Well done, Luca. First, using a move that shares a type with its user multiplies the move's base power of 100 by 1.5, making power 150. The fact that the opponent is weak to the move's type then doubles that power from 150 to 300. The original power of the move ends up being tripled. Isn't that amazing? What's more, if a Pokemon terrestrializes in the Terra-type matches one of its original types, then the bonus it gets for using a move of that same type increases from 1.5 to 2. Of course, being able to use a lot of moves with different types is great as well. That's one way you can surprise your opponent. In the end, your own innate characteristics are what really lets you shine the most. Bear that in mind that this is true for both humans and Pokemon. It would sure make me happy if you could take those words to heart. But I suppose I really should have shared this basic advice right from our first lesson. My apologies. And just like that, class is over. The last of our time together flew by in the blink of an eye. It was so much fun to be able to teach all of you eager students about numbers. Next class will be our final exam. Be sure to review the material well in preparation. Yeah, totally. Although, yep, that was easy enough math to do. You just take the two and put them together, and what do you got? Bibbidi bobbidi boo. You'd like history with Mr. Ryford? Yes. Class will begin soon. Oh yeah, next one is Mr. Salvatore. That's my favorite one, just because of the voice I get to do. The Italian one is easier to do than the French accent. That one's hard. Greetings, my little students. Whatever you did yesterday, it is now part of history. Today is our last class, so I would like to unravel the marvels that history has presented to us one last time. In our last class, I taught you about the Area Zero expedition of 200 years ago, correct? Alas, 200 years is not that long ago, not that long ago at all. How unfortunate that our history lessons must march so inexorably towards the future. Would it not be more of an adventure to march towards the past instead, to start from our present and study history in reverse? So you agree with me, do you, Luke? However, I'm afraid I risk incurring the wrath of our dear director if I stray from the curriculum. Sigh, I suppose I have no choice but to let the flow of time carry us toward the future. In this last class of ours, I shall fill your minds with the history of the terrestrial phenomena. The technology behind Terra Orbs has its origins in Area Zero. Even after the Area Zero expedition supposedly reached the crater's deepest depths, others continued to explore that area. And around 140 years ago, Pokemon cloaked in a mysterious light were discovered there. As you may have already guessed, these were in fact terrestrialized Pokemon. However, when those who discovered that these Pokemon brought them out of Area Zero, the light faded, and the terrestrial phenomenon remained a mystery for quite some time. However, 10 years ago, that might as well be present day, a certain someone you have definitely heard of unraveled this mystery. Ah, perfect timing to make eye contact, young Luca. Answer me this. What is the name of the famous professor who unraveled the terrestrial phenomenon mystery? Sada. Correct. To think that you, when you transfer to our academy, could correctly answer this question. You must be very diligent in your studies. Approximately 10 years ago, a professor named Sada unraveled the mystery of the terrestrial phenomenon. She discovered that the shining crystals down in Area Zero, or rather the energy they emit, is what causes Pokemons to terrestrialize. This led the professor to invent Terra Orb technology and develop a practical use for it. This technology was then shared with both the Pokemon League and our academy. Rumor has it that Director Clavel was one of the researchers on the professor's team. Alas, the story is much less exciting now that someone we all know appears in it. Modern history truly is dull, isn't it? Thus ends my history classes. Our next session will be our final exam. Bring the wonders of history to the forefront of your minds in preparation. Fascinating though, but yeah, no, I had a feeling because she's the only one who was really mentioning doing such a thing, I'd like to take languages. We're almost there. We're almost there. We are getting there. I'm aware. I won't be late. Thank you. Thank you. So many days. My dear friends, how are you all today? It's time for the last of Salvador's language lessons. Este vous prêt? Are you ready? I could have just said yeah. What a response. Fantastic. Great answer that is. Perfect for our last class together. I love it. And aujourd'hui, today, we will once again be having a listening lesson. Vas-y, go for it, my assistant Pikachu. Let's get right to it, my little Pikachu friend. For our last listening class, tell everyone right how you feeling right now. C'est le te plaît? Ooh, can you feel that? That's one contagious emotion in Pikachu's voice. What emotion do you suppose Pikachu was trying to convey just now? Happiness? Well done, Luca. I'm so happy that you got it right. Haha, get it? When Pikachu says... It's really hard to tell. It's expressing happiness. Doesn't make you just want to break out into a happy dance. But I didn't have to ask Pikachu to put on an act today. Oh no, I simply asked to show you how it felt about getting to have a class with you. Getting to meet so many new friends and study together in this class with you. It's made both me and my little Pikachu so very happy. And now, apropos of nothing, let me give you all one last word of advice. As you live your lives, I'm sure we'll all have times when you get mad, or sad, maybe even more than you would like. Everything has its ups and downs. Life is a veritable roller coaster. But à la fin, in the end, that is, there surely is happiness waiting for you. So, gardez le sourire, keep a smile on your face, even in the hardest of times. Cha! When you're faced with a problem that you can't handle alone, find someone to rely on, be it a teacher, your family, your friends, anyone. Our portion course next lesson will be our final exam. Be sure to review what we learned. In our final lesson so far, adios matane. Get out of here. Get out of here. Feels like it's taking longer each time, but yeah, that is... We have made it through the first half, so we can bring this episode to a close, and when we come back, we will tackle the back half of our final string of classes before the finals. So in the meantime, though, if you like what you saw, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.